Thanks Brilliant for sponsoring this video. Hi, so today we are in my kitchen because I want to make myself a nice cup of tea and really start discussing a really important issue. So, as you know, I've been making productivity videos for a while now. And one thing I've noticed is that in spite of people usually discussing the methods, the techniques, different supplies, different apps and programs, one thing that is really never discussed is the impact of our cycle in our productivity and our motivation throughout the month. So I think there's a lot of guilt involved in this conversation. When you go through your cycle during the month, you may feel like your sudden drop of productivity and a sudden lack of performance are basically you being lazy or not working hard enough, and that really brings a lot of guilt into ourselves and makes our relationship with ourselves very toxic. So that's why today I wanted to make this, chattier video, face-to-face and a little bit more personal, and really shed some light on this issue. So basically what we'll be talking about is the 4 stages of your cycle, how they impact your productivity and your motivation, and what you can do about that information and how you can really use that to your advantage. So, as you may know, this video went through a lot of research. I'm not a physician, I'm no expert in these issues, but I did a lot of research to provide this information for you. So in case you also want to delve deeper into this research, I'll link everything I've read down below. So without further ado, let's get out of the kitchen and let's talk about your 4 stages in the living room. Okay, so throughout the 4 stages of your menstrual cycle, your body will have tons of shifts in terms of, your ability to memorize, your motivation, your productivity, and even some cognitive abilities. Although, of course, these fluctuations are very stressful and they can be very frustrating because you'd like to keep a steady amount of focus and motivation throughout the month, you really need to understand what happens in those 4 stages of the month. Okay, so usually as your hormones shift and fluctuate throughout the 4 stages of your menstrual cycle, you'll really be able to identify in which stage you're at, even if you're not tracking your cycle with, for instance, an app or something of the sort. These fluctuations usually occur from week to week, although for some people, those changes are a little bit blurred out, so you really have to know what applies to you in your specific situation. Okay, so during menstruation, which happens in the first week of your cycle, your hormone levels will be very, very low. Fun fact, although you may experience a lot of physical discomfort, your ability to reflect and process information are at its highest point in the month. Although you may experience fatigue and anxiety, your ability to reflect and your intuitive thinking will be at their best. Okay, so the follicular phase is the time between the first day of your menstruation and the time where you ovulate. And as this stage progresses, your estrogen levels will start rising and will peak right before ovulation. Because this whole stage of your cycle means a big rise in estrogen levels, this also means that your creative energy, your creative thinking, and ability to brainstorm will be at their best. The good news is, as your estrogen rises, your anxiety will be at its lowest point in the month. This happens because estrogen helps calm the fear response in your body. Overall, this combination of high creativity and low anxiety means that the second week of your cycle is a good time to schedule more creative and problem-solving tasks and really brainstorm for new projects and really get yourself out there. Okay, so in the ovulatory phase, which happens at the end of your second week of your cycle, you'll have a peak in something called LH hormone. Some studies say that you'll feel a little bit more confident and a little bit more extroverted. This happens because your hormone levels before, during, and after ovulation actually support the verbal part of your brain as well as the communication part of your brain. After ovulation, you enter the final phase of your cycle. So right after ovulation, your estrogen levels will really drop and then they'll progressively start rising for 2 weeks. Also, it's during this time that progesterone will be produced and will have its peak during your cycle. So studies find that progesterone really increases your reactivity, which means that during this month you'll feel like, everything is a little bit hard. You'll feel anxious, you'll feel like you're irritated with people, so you'll get a little bit more moody. And this is actually what can really justify the appearance of PMS symptoms. These premenstrual symptoms can cause bloating, headaches, mood swings. They're terrible and they can really affect your performance and your productivity. Of course, that during this time, your body will inevitably tell you to slow down. So, really respect that. Try to leave slower tasks for this part of the month if you're able to do so, like, organizing, reflecting on projects and things like that. And really try to get your head out of the water instead of delving into new projects and new ideas. Okay, so now that I've just described what happens in your body throughout the month, what can you do about this information and how can it be helpful for you? You'll never be able to be 100% productive or be productive all the time. Even if you want to keep your habit streaks, you will not be able to. You will inevitably have to break them. And that's because your body was not engineered for perfection. Your output will always be limited and it will go up and down throughout your cycle. And in case you have some independence managing your work and your schedule, really try to come up with a way to leave all creative brainstorming and new projects for the beginning of your cycle. Leave more reflection and slower tasks for the end of your cycle, and just try to take care of yourself during menstruation. And if you're in a situation where you cannot manage your work the way you'd like to, at least go easy on yourself. Don't pack too much into your schedule when your body is not able to deal with the workload. Of course, we don't live in a world where it's acceptable to stop working for 2 weeks every single month or to completely manage everything as we like. But the fact that you know what happens in your body and your mind throughout your cycle really helps you accept those fluctuations, those different levels of productivity. You can eliminate the feeling of guilt, you can have a less toxic relationship with yourself, and that's already a big step towards you, be able to produce more and get closer to your goals. And before I leave you today, I want to talk a little bit about Brilliant. You probably know Brilliant by now. It's basically a website and app that's built around the principle of problem solving. You learn best while thinking, solving problems, and putting the theory into practice in real time. And the interesting thing is, you're so absorbed in your problem solving, almost in a flow state, that before you've noticed, you've already learned a new subject. Recently, Brilliant has really invested in increasing the interactivity on their platform to a whole new level. They've recently improved their courses on math fundamentals, algorithm fundamentals, and pre-algebra. Take this lesson, for example. You might remember the formula, but in this lesson, you're moving around the triangles and actually proving that the formula you've learned in school actually works. Brilliant is great for anyone who wants to learn more and is flexible to use because all you need is your device of choice and that's it. You can use it anytime you want, in any schedule, regularity, or duration, and you won't need to memorize long, messy formulas and endless facts. Just pick a course you're interested in and get started. If you feel stuck, Brilliant will help you out because they give you the explanations to find out more and learn at your own pace. If you'd like to join me and the community of 8 million learners and educators today, click the link in the description box or visit brilliant.org/Mariana. I hope you've enjoyed today's video and I'll see you next week. Bye guys!